Hi everybody, and welcome back to another week. Wow, interview number 2 in the interview series. Real quick, if you guys don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button. If you guys are new to the channel or you haven't gone and watched the first videos, try and watch them in order. There's lots of good information there. Somewhere one of these corners here, I ain't quite figured this part out yet. One of these corners is probably up over on this side here. We'll have a little card there. Just click on that. It'll take you right back to the very first video. My second interview is with Amanda. Now, I know Amanda from work. When she volunteered to do this, I was really excited, super stoked. I'm talking because I know her story, and I knew parts of her story. I didn't know the whole story. She had a procedure, she had some kind of complications, and then she had another procedure. So when she volunteered, I was super excited to get her interview. So this is going to be really cool. Again, I had to split it up into 2 parts again. We ran over, and it's absolutely incredible. So listen to her story, and I'll talk to you guys after. Okay, so tell me, you had a very different story because you had something done. I don't remember what it was, and then something happened, or you had complications, and you went back and did something else, right?
So I had the sleeve first.
Okay.
And then I had really bad reflux after the sleeve, so I had to revise to bypass.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I knew something didn't work out quite right. I remember you telling me that. So I'm like, something's different about her. So you're going to be really good. Like, I liked your story.
Yeah, I had my sleeve, and then a month later my gallbladder went, and then a year and a half later I had my revision to bypass.
Right. Right. And your bypass is doing good now.
Oh,
right?
yeah, it was great. I mean, it was a little rough.
Right.
The recovery was a little harder for me, but they said the second surgery is a little bit harder recovery-wise.
Right.
And that's something that I don't feel that I was as prepared for, which is good to be able to tell people that if you do have to have a second surgery, it's not uncommon, because that's not something I was told, is that it's potentially harder, that second recovery.
Okay. Before your surgery, I know this was the big thing for me, and I never really picked up on it right away, but what were you like before the surgery?
As far as?
Like your personality, what were you like? I mean,
I think I was a little bit more shy. I think I was a little bit more social anxiety, because of my size. I love it. I love the change.
How long ago did you have that surgery?
So I had my surgery October 1st, 2019 was my sleeve. And then January 5th of 2021 was my bypass.
And you started out at what weight?
228.
Okay, and you're down to now?
123.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible. This is kind of, you've kind of already answered this one, but why did you decide to have the surgery?
So I was 30 years old when I had my sleeve. I took medications for my blood pressure to control my heart rate, my blood sugar. I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, which causes you to inappropriately use your insulin. So they put you on a diabetic medicine even though you're not diabetic.
Okay.
So my A1C was still 5.9, which is still almost borderline diabetic. So I was already taking medication. So had I not already been on that for the PCOS, I probably would have been diabetic. I took medicine for triglycerides, cholesterol, and I was 30 years old.
Right.
I mean, that's a lot to take at 30. So,
And blood pressure medicine.
Oh, I did say the blood pressure medicine. And I lost my dad at 53 when he was 53.
Right.
So I didn't want to follow in that same path. And also we were trying to have a baby. And with being so unhealthy, that's not really fair to bring a child into this world, potentially losing your parents so young like I went through.
Yeah.
So that was my major deciding factor, was all those medications and bringing a child into a healthy mom. Yeah, that's what I'm just trying to keep at the forefront, that, you know, when we have children, it's not about us anymore.
Absolutely. Yep. That's for sure. And how did you find out about the surgery?
So I was actually playing on the Health First insurance website and looking for a new physician, and I just happened to see a link that said New Fit Bariatric. And years ago I had considered getting the band And at that time I wasn't heavy enough for the band, so I already knew there was bariatric surgeries out there, but it had just popped up and it was like it was meant to be.
Right.
And I clicked on the link and it was like just gave the more information on the NewFit program and how insurance would cover it if you were a full-time employee for us. And I watched the little video, the seminar video that they have, and learned more about it, and then just it went from there. I just started researching it, and then I brought it home to my wife and approached her with the idea, and that's where it went from there. Yeah, when I saw them the first time write obese on my chart, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because they still tell me that.
Really?
Yeah, I'm still obese. I'm not morbidly obese anymore, but I'm like, I don't like those charts.
No, they're not fair.
I don't think did you have any denial about your weight?
You know, I didn't. My mom always had me in weight loss support group since I was little. I was a 10-pound baby. I mean, I've been overweight my whole life.
Right.
And so there was this program, I was probably in like 6th grade. It was called TOPS, Take Off Pounds Sensibly. And it was a bunch of older women. And honestly, it was just like a little group that everybody hung out. And you had snacks. But it was a weight loss group. So I've always been conscious of my weight. And I've always felt big. So I never had denial of my weight.
Right. Your doctor didn't recommend, or did you?
So I actually went to my doctor because of, you know, Heather at first was like, I don't want you to do this. She didn't think it was quite safe. So I actually went to my PCP and I said, hey, I'm thinking about this. And he was like, absolutely. He's like, I want this for you. You need to do this. And he was very emphatic. He was very on board with it. And as a joke, I was like, well, will you write it down for Heather? Because she sees him too, so he knows her. And he's like, sure. And I still have a little sticky note where he wrote, I highly recommend this for Amanda. This will change her life, or something like that. So
That's awesome. After you go to did you go to the seminar?
I did.
Okay.
Dr. Allison gave the seminar.
Okay. When I went to the seminar, they're like, everything was fine. They talked to you about everything, but then all of a sudden, you have to lose 20 pounds. The whole room, I mean, literally, everybody in the room was like,
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
and they said, don't worry, we get the same reaction every single time. Everybody makes it. And we did. We all made it.
Yeah.
We all made it. But what did you think that when they first said, you know?
I was like, if I could lose 20 pounds, I wouldn't be sitting in this room.
Exactly.
And then, like, as they went on and they described how you're going to lose 20 pounds, it was the shakes, you know, replacing your meals with shakes. And, you know, I had that realization. I'm like, why don't I just try that instead of, you know, weight loss surgery? But I'm like, well, I have 100 pounds to lose. If I can lose 20, like, you know, so I was like, let me just try this, you know, this program. And it was so hard because for every 5 pounds I lost, I feel like I gained 2.
Right.
It was a struggle. It really was.
Your 2-week liquid diet. I mean, my whole thing going in there.
Struggle.
I mean, what about like mentally going up to that point, knowing that was coming up?
So I'm a like all or nothing kind of person. I couldn't like wean, so I actually probably did clear liquids for 3 weeks because I can't like just wean into it. I have to just stop, and I knew that if I didn't like do it, I wouldn't be able to do it. So it was the hardest thing mentally to do, to get over that brain hunger.
Right.
Like, because I knew I was drinking my shake, so I knew mentally, like, my brain knew I was getting enough nutrients, but then the other part of my brain is like, oh my gosh, you're gonna starve to death. This is just not normal. Like, it was really mentally challenging. As a secretary, I just sat there and I would just think about, I am so hungry. Just drinking those liquids really, really helped. I mean, that broth, like, when that brain hunger kicks in, just drink. I would recommend getting different flavors of chicken broth.
Right.
So, like, bouillon, like chicken-based bouillon, I took ramen noodles, and I just took the pack because that's a different flavor. The undri, I use that chicken flavor. So, instead of being bored with the same flavor over and over, because I didn't like beef or the vegetable, it's easier if you get different flavors of the chicken broth or whatever broth that you choose to drink.
Okay guys, so there's the end of part 1. We finished with the liquid diet. Part 2 will be coming up next week. Sorry about the video quality there. We did this at her house. Live and learn. I'm not an expert by anybody's standards, but the interviews I did at the house and out on my porch, were the quality was a little better. My editing skills are getting better as I go along. They're still not, you know, I'm not professional. I'm just winging all this. Amanda's story is amazing. She did a great job. Like I said, I know her from work, so when she volunteered to do this, I was super excited to get her in there and listen to her story. It's just absolutely incredible. Again, watch for part 2 coming up next week. Like and subscribe, guys. I like to keep these going. Hopefully more people will volunteer when they start seeing these. It's absolutely incredible. Lots of good information in these videos. So I'll see you guys next week, and have a good day. Bye.